Here's John Kasich. He says his state now has bragging rights, and he's back here to spell that out for us. How are you, Governor, and good morning to you.
Good, Bill. We're not bragging out here, Bill. We're pleased. We're up almost 250,000 jobs since the administration came in 3 years ago.
Bureau of Labor Statistics says you're number 2 in the country as of January. You're number 1 in the Midwest over the past year since January of 2011. It ranks you number 5 in the country since January of 2011. I think that's when you took office, by the way. And number 7 in the nation in the past year. That's January of 2013 to January 2014. Give it your best shot. Go ahead and brag. What's going on in your state, and what's Ohio doing right?
Well, Bill, this is interesting because, we've seen this national economy, just not perform very well. And we all out here believe we have a simple formula. Balance your budget, which we have, coming from $8 billion in the hole. We now are running a surplus of $1.5 billion. That's like a $9.5 billion turnaround in 3 years, from the negative to the positive. And we're also cutting taxes all the time, because if you cut taxes, particularly for small business, it helps to create excitement. We've also privatized our economic development operations so they act like business people and not like bureaucrats. And we have simplified our regulations. So we have stability, and increasingly companies look to see where things are stable. If you look over in Illinois, for example, they don't know what they're going to do with their problems over there. And then companies look at Washington and they say, those folks can't do anything right. So when they see somebody that's doing it right, it creates momentum. Now, we have a long, long way to go, Bill, because we had lost 350,000 private sector jobs before we came in. Now that since we've been in, we've almost grown by 250,000. So we still have a ways to go, but we think we're on the right track. And this is a good formula for others.
Well, one of your colleagues, Rick Perry in Texas, they make a big deal out of how he goes to California. He says, come to my state and open up your business there. Are you drawing more business into Ohio, or is your tax structure still preventative on that measure?
Well, we're getting our income tax. We have a proposal to get it down under 5%, while at the same time helping people at the bottom of the income scale. But just two noteworthy things. Whirlpool, about Whirlpool, they just created 400 more jobs in Ohio rather than going to Mexico or China. And Fuyao, which is a Chinese firm, is going to do a major investment in Dayton, about 800 jobs and significant investment. So we're seeing people not just from other states begin to look at Ohio, but we're seeing people look from the world, which is fantastic. But again, we've got a long way to go. We are focusing a great deal on workforce training, Bill, and that's so that people are prepared when they get educated for jobs that exist, not in a vacuum.
Very important. Broaden the discussion, okay? National unemployment rate at 6.7%. You look at the graphic going back to 2009, and we peaked at 10%, and we're coming down from there. But still, you're right around that 7% number. Now it's 6.7%. What can this White House do? What do you think this president is willing to do in his remaining 3.5 years to help that number go better?
Well, if I were advising him, I would tell him to get the job creators in his office, both big and small, and listen to them about what's caused the uncertainty. Because even though we're healing, we're not healing at the rate that we should be after a normal recession. And the problem is uncertainty, giant deficits. People don't even understand Obamacare. Even the people that can apply for it don't even know how to do it, and they don't know what kind of delays we're going to get. It's just been a whole series of uncertainty. Allowing companies to bring their profits from Europe back to America so they can invest here would be another thing that would be helpful. But he needs to listen to the people that make the job-creating decisions and start on that track. And he will get great results if he's willing to do it. This is not complicated, Bill, as to what drives an economy.